Namaskar, I am Dr. Aarti Chaudhary, Assistant Professor in the Department of Ancient Indian History, Culture and Archaeology at Vasant Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Banaras Hindu University. I welcome you once again in this 12-week course titled History of Science and Technology in Ancient India from Harappan Civilization to 7th century CE. Today we are going to discuss Module 11 and Lecture 3. The title of Module 11 is A Brief Survey of Agricultural Practices and Knowledge of Biodiversity in Ancient India, and the title of Lecture 3 is Ecology and Arbour-Horticulture. But the first we are discussing here the learning objective of this particular topic. So, the first learning objective is to understand the ecological principle underlying arboriculture and horticulture. Second learning objective is to analyze traditional and modern principle practices in relation to their environmental impact and sustainability. And the third learning objective is to evaluate the contribution of this system to environmental enhancement. In this particular topic, we are going to discuss about ecology in the post-Vedic and classical period and arboriculture and horticulture in ancient India. In the agricultural context, ecology involves understanding the intricate relationship between crops, soil, water, climate and living organism. It provides the foundation for sustainable farming by promoting harmony between natural system and agricultural practices. By recognizing ecological principles, traditional agriculture maintains soil fertility, conserve water and preserve biodiversity. Arboriculture, the science and art of cultivating trees, arbory and garden plants, horticulture has long been a vital part of Indian agricultural system. Trees and perennial plant were not just grown for fruit, timber or shade, but also for their role in enhancing soil quality, supporting pollinators and creating diverse multi-layered ecosystem. Ancient Indian agriculture was richly biodiverse. Farmers cultivated a wide variety of cereals, pulses, fruit, herbs and medicinal plants. Sacred groves and community forest conserved rare species and served as natural gene banks. This integrated approach helped sustain local ecologies while supporting food security and cultural traditions. So, before we discuss the other dimension of this particular lecture, at first you must understand what is arboriculture and what is horticulture. So, let us see the definition of horticulture and arboriculture. Horticulture is the science and art of growing fruits, vegetable, flowers and ornamental plants. It encompasses the cultivation, propagation, improvement and marketing of a wide variety of garden crops. It includes both commercial and home garden. So, have looked the key area of horticulture, which includes first the key area is floriculture. Floriculture means the study of the different flowers. Second is olericulture. which is related to the study of the science of the different vegetable. Third one is pomology, which is related to the fruits, the area of fruits. Fourth one is landscape horticulture. The use of plants and design principles to create and maintain attractive outdoor environments. It considered as landscape horticulture. And the fifth one is nursery management. The production and care of young plants and seeding for sale or transplantation. So, basically these are the 5 key areas of horticulture. Now, arboriculture. Arboriculture is the study and management of individual trees, shrubs, vines and other perennial woody plants. It focuses on the health, safety and maintenance of trees in urban and landscape setting, often involving pruning, pest management and disease control. Ecology in the post-Vedic and classical period. Recognition of the relationship between plant and environment. The relationship between plant and environment is very significant, because this relationship is the key secret for the survival of any living being in this earth. This period demonstrated an understanding of how the structural and functional characteristics of plant are influenced by environmental conditions. Ancient Indian scholars, particularly Charak and Susrut, displayed a thoughtful awareness of how plants are influenced by their environment. They did not merely classify plants based on their medical use, but also considered the ecological context in which they thrived. This is evident in their categorization of land into various types based on factors like soil quality, climate and native vegetation, highlighting a clear understanding of plant ecology long before it became a formal discipline. So, basically the complete horticulture or arboriculture is dependent on the particular land specific categorization of different kind of flower, different kinds of vegetables and different kinds of forest as well. We will see it in different points according to the different points in the upcoming slide. First one is jungle, the dry and open landscape. The jungle region is described as a dry, open terrain with little rainfall and limited water sources such as rivers and streams. Despite the sparse vegetable, due to the arid conditions, they are enjoy abundant sunlight and is considered healthier. Charak mentions several plant species that have adapted to survive in such harsh environment. Among them are Khadira, Acacia catucu, known for its medical bark, and Salkai, Boswellia serrata, valued for its resin. Few other common trees include Sala, Shoria robusta, Ashwath, Ficus religiosa, Vath, Ficus bengalensis, Amalaki, Phyllanthus Embelica and Cispa Dalbergia Sisu. Now second is Anup, the water rich forested region. In contrast to the dry jungle, the Anup region is rich in water resources and covered with thick forest. It features marshlands, rivers, pond and a generally humid climate. This creates favorable conditions for the growth of a wide variety of plants. Varamihir lists species such as Jambu, Eugenia jambolana, Vetasa, Calamus rotung, Kadamb, Anthocephalus cadamba, Draksh, Bene and Arjun, Terminalia, Arjun, etc. Charak complements this list with species that thrive in swampy region such as Hitala, Phoenix paludosa, Tal, Borassus felebe lifer, Tamala, Cinnamomum, Tamala, Cinnamomum and Naricella, Cocos nucifera. These plants are well suited to saturated soil and warm humid condition. Now, next category is Sadharan, the intermediate or mixed region. The Sadharan region lies between the extremes of dry and swampy areas and incorporates characteristics of both. It has moderate soil moisture, a balanced climate and support a diverse range of flora. This region is especially notable for supporting both Vanaspatis, large forest trees, and Vanaspatyas, smaller shrubs and herbaceous plant, indicating its ecological richness. As it offers a combination of features from both jungle and Anup, it can sustain plant from both categories, making it agriculturally and medicinally valuable. Now, the arboriculture and horticulture in ancient India. Emergence of arboriculture and horticulture as a distinct discipline. During this period, arboriculture and horticulture developed as specialized field of study. Much of the knowledge in Vriksha Ayurveda was focused on designing and maintaining garden and parks for public health, enjoyment and recreation. So, on the basis of this structure of horticulture and arboriculture in that time of period, we can understand the ancient people was not only concentrated for the surplus production, not only concentrated for the agricultural practices, as well as they were much aware regarding the other aspect of this vegetation, like the proper management of the floral plants, proper management of the another shrubs like grass, another different kind of grass. The availability of this kind of plants is also very important in maintaining the balance of ecosystem, is understood by the ancient people, and this is the reason they plant these all structure for the healthy living style and for the survival of the earth in the ancient period. Now, roots in early Indian text. The origin of this science can be traced back to the Rigvedic period, where gardens were essential part of noble homes and royal estate. These gardens include both pleasure garden and kitchen garden, serving functional as well as aesthetic purpose. Responsibility for managing gardens. The ancient people was not only made the structure of a particular garden, as well as they just appointed people for the proper maintenance of this garden. So, these gardens are the also important inseparable part of the ecosystem and the living being. Superintendents were responsible for managing public gardens, ensuring that they were properly maintained and that plant received the right care. They were expected to understand how plants grow and what conditions like proper soil and water were necessary for their healthy development. In addition to managing garden health, gardeners were knowledgeable about the medicinal properties of plant. Grafting was considered an important skill and it was one of the 64 kala arts considered essential for the gardener's expertise. Now the royal gardens in palaces. Vatsyayan mentioned that royal places and large homes always had gardens known as Vrikshavatika, tree garden, or Pushpavatika, flower garden, underlining their cultural significance. Now plant propagation techniques. Method for propagating plant like seed sowing, cutting, layering, grafting and other budding were commonly practiced. These methods were extensively discussed in ancient texts including the Ved, Arthashastra and Brihat Samhita. Jacoliot remarked, we should not forget that India, that immense and luminous center in olden time, was in constant communication with all the people of Asia and that all the philosophers and sages of antiquity went there to study the science of life. Now, pleasure garden in Buddhist text. Buddhist texts describe the pleasure garden of King Bimbisar and King Ashok as area of relaxation and amusement. The Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya, beneath which Gautam Buddha attained enlightenment, was a peepal tree, Ficus religiosa. It became a symbol of enlightenment and its branches were taken widely for planting in various regions. Upavan Vinod in Sarangadhara Paddhati. A chapter titled Upavan Vinod, which is a branch of Vriksha Ayurveda, appears in Sarangadhara Paddhati, an encyclopedic work written in 13th century AD. The treatise focused on the importance of tree, their symbolism and omens related to resident near them, along with the methods for selecting soil, sowing seeds and protecting plants. So, not only the Vedic text, the Buddhist text also mention about the proper management of the ecosystem, where the agricultural practices, the horticulture practices and arboriculture is together existed, and these all existence is very necessary for the proper balance of this universe, and which is taken care by the Vedic people and the Buddhist literature as well. It covers practical aspect of gardening including the construction of garden houses, techniques for soil examination, watering and the nourishment of plant, with a special mention of Kunapa water, recipe of natural solution. The work also delves into plant health, providing methods for treating disease, ensuring plant well-being and documenting experimental result and botanical marvels. Forest management and administration. Like the Arthashastra, Kama Sutra and Sukra Niti reveal the existence of forest department led by expert officers. Their primary roles were to establish new plantation, enforce law related to forestry and ensure the sustainable development of forest resources for the state's economic benefit. Cultural, medicinal and economic significance of plant in ancient India. Plant and beliefs. Valmiki Ramayana described the lush flora of the Chitrakoot hills during the forest exile of Ram, Lakshman and Sita. Sita was held captive by Ravan in a grove of Ashoka tree, Saraka indica. The Kadamba tree, Anthocephalus kadamba, is closely linked with Krishna's childhood and is native to the Mathura Vrindavan region. Its present indicates that the area may once have had a more humid climate. As we already discussed in the Vedic botany and Vedic ecosystem, as well as we also noticed in the explanation of Kautilya Arthashastra, the agricultural practices in Kautilya Arthashastra, that this kind of plant remain evidences is very beneficial to reconstruct the contemporary environmental condition of that period. And that same thing is mentioned here, that the kadamba tree, if the kadamba tree is present there, then it indicates some specific environmental condition in the contemporary period. So, the study of botany and plant science in this regard is very significant. Tulsi, Ocimum santicum, a sacred plant in Hindu tradition, continue to be revered and grown in household courtyards for spiritual and medicinal purpose. The lotus, Nelumbo necifera, is often referred to in the Puran as a powerful symbol of purity and divinity. Associated with Brahma, who is said to have emerged from a lotus growing from Vishnu's navel. Depicted in Mohenjo-daro seal and artwork, often in connection with solar worship. Medicinal and intoxicating plants. Mahua flowers, Madhuka indica, were fermented to make Sidhu, a traditional alcoholic drink. Date palm juice, Phoenix sylvestris, was used to prepare khajur, another popular beverage. Sura, derived from cereals, whereas cannabis fibre, cannabis sativa, was known as bhang, prepared from it, was used as an intoxicant. Somaras, the legendary drink of the god believed to bestow immortality, was known, but its exact botanical identity remain a mystery. Sarpagandha, Raufolia serpentia, mentioned in the Charak Samhita, was used to treat snake bites and insect stings. Due to its effectiveness in treating mental disorders, it has long been referred to in Hindi as Pagal ki dawa. Now, cosmetic and personal care. It is also related to the botany and agriculture and specific type of plants. Kalidas works and Brihad Samhita mention the use of aromatic and cosmetic plants in daily life. Tambul, pan, piper betel, supari, areca nut, areca catechu, cardamom, Eletaria cardamom, Campaka, flower, Michelia champaka, sandal paste, Santalum album. References are also made to tooth cleaning sticks, hair oils, natural perfumes, hair dye recipes, etc. Economic and export plants. First one is sandalwood. Santalum album, known as a royal tree and is not cultivated by common people. Exported to China and Southeast Asia as late as the 8th-9th century CE, it presents along with mango trees. It carved on the railings of Bharhut Stup 2nd century BCE, confirming its native growth in ancient India. Second is black pepper, Piper nigrum, indigenous to the Malabar coast of western India, highly valued in Greek, Arab and later European trade, sometimes exchanged for silver and gold due to its high price. Its desirability led to European maritime exploration to find direct sea route to India. So, on the basis of whole structure of this lecture, we can say the ancient Indian understanding of ecology and arboriculture reflects a deep respect for nature and its interconnected system. Traditional agricultural practices were inherently sustainable, blending food production with ecological preservation. The cultivation of trees and diverse plant species not only supported livelihood, but also enriched biodiversity and maintained environmental balance. As modern agriculture faces challenges like soil degradation, climate change and loss of species, revisiting these time tested practices can offer valuable lessons. Integrating ecological principles and arbori-horticulture wisdom into contemporary farming can pave the way for resilient, sustainable and biodiverse agricultural system that honor both tradition and innovation. So, we can say on the basis of the whole structure which is mentioned in Vedic text or Buddhist text and other text of ancient India regarding horticulture and arboriculture is basically a message to the future world to take care of all these specific natural vegetation for the smooth survival of living being in the universe. The existence of these all vegetation is very necessary because not only agricultural cereals are important for the healthy living being, these all structures of natural vegetation is also an important part of ecological balance, what is deeply observed and written by the ancient scholar. So, if you want to enhance your knowledge regarding this particular topic, you can consult these reference which is showing on the slide, and thank you very much for your patient listening. Namaskar.